Word up, man. We back, man.
We back, man. This number 2.
Episode 2, like Attack of the Clones.
There it go. There it go. What up,
Attack of the Clones was good, man.
That's my man Adell.
Young Datwon, man. I'm telling you, dog, the feedback has been crazy since episode 1.
Just and that was just us talking about us,
bruh. We so just shooting.
Let's do it again.
Yeah, exactly. if it ain't broke,
Yo, now, Crown Jewels podcast. You know what I'm saying? King Crown Jewels.
We'll talk.
Yo, man, that first one was dope because we went in the time capsule about like just our adolescence, just growing up in the hood, and then traveling and all that. And
exactly.
Pick up. We just want to set this like real quick. Let's let the people know. We just want to set this.
Hold on, I see your cup though. I see your cup. See, last time you ain't want to drink, so
yo, we got a clink.
We got a clink. Hold up, clink. Cheers, man.
Cheers, bro.
So, yeah, it's been crazy. Just to give people an idea of what we're looking to do, because I know people been talking, man. They want to get straight to the issues. They want to get straight to the issues. They want to get to the meat of things. They want to get the behind the scenes talk.
But we storytellers.
We are storytellers, man. It's like we had to get there, and it's like that's coming. We're about to go ahead and definitely hit y'all with all of that. We're moving some things up on the schedule. We can move this thing along a lot faster.
Yes, indeed.
But one of the things that we wanted to communicate in this episode, well, not only just the episode, these earlier episodes before we got to the actual issues, is let people know where it came from, where the whole concept came from, how it came. Because the thing is, the reason why a lot of people have been, supporting the brand, that we're extremely thankful for, it was just a certain kind of chemistry, a certain kind of magic that happened, and we wanted to, help give people more of an understanding of how it all came together. So even like with humble beginnings, it's like, man, all of this stuff kind of came from somewhere. It just wasn't two random dudes or a whole crew. It ain't just us, but obviously, right. We have a whole amazing team,
and y'all will be seeing them.
You will be seeing them, and they've been reaching out and checking in. It's been so dope, and posting, reposting. So we sort of want to let y'all know like what the essence was. So I, just how it came together as we transitioned, and what the actual issues were, how we started pulling the people, because it's crazy when you in hindsight,
man,
to think about what we actually pulled off.
Think about that, man, especially during that time. That time, it was like at the height of like magazines. I think like King existed during the time of like the height, and then the dissension of magazines as well. Like we got to get the last bit of that dope juice of printed magazines, and then we started to see the decline of the industry itself.
Absolutely,
so to be able to see how we cultivated the ideas, how everyone came together, how everyone was family basically from different spots, and then we all came together and created this incredible project, man. I think one of the main things that always like inspires me is the fact that we came through when Maxim was crazy, stuff,
FHM
crazy, FHM, you had Arena. There was a magazine called DT that I always wanted.
And I wonder why.
Right.
I wonder why.
That was on like the mainstream, and then you also had Smooth. Had
Black Man's Magazine.
Yo, it was always something, and then a little bit later you had Straight Stunting, you had all of that Sweet, that was kind of like in our lane. But like you said earlier, there was something special about King that melded like high art, beautiful women, lifestyle, excess in what we called it, but then real life. We had that section in the mag.
Right.
And all of those things came from, I will go back to like high school, picking up from the last
we left off at. Yeah.
I will go back to high school and say like, I went to 3 different high schools. I went to 3. So, in Japan, Yokota Air Force Base, big shout out to the whole Yokota team. I was there. I ended up being in high school for like a month and change there. and then left and went to Albuquerque, New Mexico, the Bugs Bunny thing from the last episode. And my school was a Crip school, and I had no idea. I went to school on that first week.
That's in New Mexico. Gang culture had tripled over to New Mexico at that time.
At that time,
there were Crips and Bloods.
Crips and Bloods. Yep. This is and I'm a New York kid, so after being in Japan from 86 to 89, like October 89, we come back to the States. I chill in New York for like a month and a half. My mom is like, yo, what you want to do? I wanted to stay. My step pops was like, yo, it's a lot of opportunity out there. It might be kind of good for you to check it. So I jumped out with him. We go first. My mom's still in New York. You know, I'm out there like going around Thanksgiving time, kind of sad, you know, but when I got back to the States, I made sure I was a St. John's Redmond fan, like Mark Jackson.
Ooh, you was flaming.
I was flaming, man. I had all red, you know what I'm saying? All red, St. John's, everything. Right. And I go to school. This is like maybe the first or second week, and I'm all St. John's out. I get to the gym, and you know, that's how you meet people. You want to go play ball.
Right.
So yo, I'm sitting, I'm in the gym waiting, like, yo, I got next. Looking at me like, this dude guy, oh, what?
Word.
Basically.
Right.
My man Billy Holloway, man. Love to my man. I don't know what it was, man. Them dudes all rated out. So, LA Dodgers, all black. It was looking like little Mexican NWA.
Word.
It's like 5, 6 dudes. They come over to me and was like, yo, where you from?
and you literally are thinking they're saying where you from.
Yeah, like where I'm from. And I'm like, I'm from Brooklyn, man. They was like, Brooklyn. I was like, yeah, New York. They was like, oh, this guy.
Right.
Like, yo, man, let me talk to you for a minute. It was one of them that was like real cool. The other one wasn't cool. But this one was cool. Like, yo, he ain't even from this side of the world. Like,
right.
And he was like, yo, man, you can't do all this.
Yeah.
Do all this. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, all this red, man. You can't do all this, man. Not what we do here.
Yeah.
I seen colors. I wasn't like oblivious to it, but I was oblivious to where my school sat. You know what I mean? And the whole thing. And they weren't like super overtly like, oh, we crip school like that, but it was just known. And the rival school was what they were. You know what I mean? And that just made me keen on, oh, I'm really in a different element from Japan and Brooklyn. This is something totally new. And I'm being exposed to the type of music that they rock, the type of clothes that they wear, type of food that they eat, how they chill. They go to the park, you know, jumping people in after school with the cars surrounded and dudes banging out. It was just like, yo, this is another journey. And I just tacked that in to like life experiences and understanding like there's different levels to wherever you go in this world. Everybody got rules. Everybody and you got to respect where you at. You can't just be like, nah, man, this is what you know
exactly.
what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
All right, cool. I'm gonna respect it. It wasn't like I never wore red, but I didn't wear it like I wore it that day.
Oh, for sure. For sure. It's crazy, you know, back then, obviously no internet, no social media. It's crazy to think how impactful one, you know, word of mouth was, you know, because you know, people come from, you know, LA, you know, into these different areas and, you know, take gang culture there. And then you start with this person and somebody over here. I don't like him, so I must be the other side, you know, because we had gang culture in Michigan too at that time. You know, thinking back, like my freshman year, it was heavy. It was heavy, like Bloods, Crips, Red, Blue, all throughout the city. And it's crazy to think, you know, definitely colors. And I think colors was like 1987, 88,
89. Yeah,
it had to be. No, it had to be like because like 87, 88.
Wow.
Think about Ice-T. Think about the music video.
Music. Yep.
Right, because his album Rhyme Pays came out like 86, 87.
Yeah, yo, it came out.
It came out after that.
88.
So it came out after that and before New Jack City. New Jack City was 90.
Yep.
So it had to be around 88, 89 where Colors came out. And for it was one thing for some genuine, gang culture guys to come over and bring it to certain areas, but it's a whole other thing. People just trying to emulate what they saw
exactly
in a movie. And then you also got to think, being in Michigan, dude, we had Chicago right next door. So they had a whole other thing going on.
The real, the GDs.
With, you know what I'm saying? The GDs.
Yeah.
So that was a whole other, thing. Larry Hoover, like it was just a whole different, it's crazy how that stuff just really spreads.
Yep.
Even outside of having social media. So you think about what it is now. It's just amazing to think like how all these different things sort of came.
Think of that, man.
Right?
Yo, like, and real quick, when you think like, God bless him, King Vaughn, what happened to him just recent.
Yeah.
Just the energy that goes across. You know what I mean? Like Chicago energy that comes across.
Yeah.
And that's based in that kind of that lifestyle.
Right.
And it's unfortunate, man. God bless him.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
The one thing that I do remember and wondering why it was so prevalent in a spot like Albuquerque, New Mexico, was the fact that from what I was told, a lot of the cells that were started because dudes that were in it in California, they would do their dirt. The high level dudes would do their dirt, and then they would have to hide out. So they would jet out of Cali and hit up Vegas,
right?
Phoenix,
right?
Albuquerque,
right?
Now you got these high level, gang affiliations that or affiliates starting cells in other places.
Yep.
And that's how I remember it being told to me, why it was so prevalent out there. And it wasn't like I was, looking over my back or anything, but it was just always something that you knew was there, and that sticks with you.
Yeah.
That sticks with you, man. I ended up staying in New Mexico for a year and a half. It was one of those hard year and a halves too, because I was already, trying to get over being homesick and from Japan for New York. And then I started thinking like, Dad, did I make the wrong move and not staying home, coming out here? And my mom, after a year and a half, was like, yo, let's go. We out. We went back to Brooklyn. So here I am coming back to Brooklyn, like for real, not visiting.
Right.
Because in between I was like going to South Carolina, seeing my grandmother and all of them.
Right.
But being in Brooklyn for real was a whole nother culture shock. Now with my
playing catch up with
old
friends and family, then like, oh man, this is what y'all on now at this age.
Yeah, now I'm 16. You know what I'm saying? Got life experience from all these different places, but now it's like you ain't going nowhere else.
Right.
We out of the military now.
Right.
Now this is home. You back home. You left here when you were 11. Now what you gonna do? So all those dreams and aspirations, you start to see the bleakness of where everything is, because I'm kind of like at the middle end of the crack epidemic in 91.
Right.
The Crown Heights race riots between, blacks and Jews and Crown Heights and all that stuff. It was an ill time, man. And I had to, luckily, man, my cousin L, my man C, all my family, Junebug, everybody was like, we got you. You know what I mean? Like just to get you ready. And throughout all these travels, the main thing that I was loving was magazines, books, love writing. I wanted to make beats. While I was in New Mexico, I was making beats. Me and my man James, we had a little crew doing little shows and stuff. Shit was crazy, man. Like my love for hip hop just didn't go anywhere. It was like, this is what you want to do, and when I met you, which we'll get into later,
right?
Like that was the same thing for you.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts, man. When you think about everything you just talked about, the music, wanting to make beats, loving magazines, just the arts, period, whether it's movies, TV shows, we talk about that kind of stuff a lot. Dude, these are like little time capsules, man.
Yeah, man.
These are, I mean, that literally in a way it was social media because, it was telling these stories. I mean, that's kind of what your timeline does on social media. You're able to tell these different stories.
And the things that they're into. Yeah.
Right. And you're able to see different things, different people, different cultures. You get to see different things that they're into, whether they're showing what they're eating, whether they're showing what they're watching, whether they're showing how they're dressing. Same thing. When it came to music, television, film, magazines, everything going back to Cynthia Horner, the goddess.
Come on.
Right On magazine, Black Beat magazine,
Up on the Wall.
Jet magazine, everything, bruh.
Like, and did we talk about Jet magazine?
We didn't even get into none of that. We're
gonna get into that.
You know what I'm saying? But all of these different things is one thing. That's something that connected all of us. And movies, Crush Groove, Last Dragon, Beat Street, the Kung Fu movie, like all of this stuff.
You were receiving that information line like it was social media at the same time.
Right.
It was like a same time kind of thing. I think now because you have social media and you have the internet, you can follow at your pace.
Right.
Back then, if you wasn't up on it, you was whack. Or you just didn't know.
Right.
You weren't put on yet.
Right.
But it's like, my kids and my nephews and all that, even though they're in their 20s now, they could go back and see all these things. It was like, this was must see TV.
Yep.
Must hear radio.
And if you missed it, you missed it.
You missed it, man. That shit is long gone.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What was it like in high school for you and then going into college?
Bro, I'm gonna tell you what was crazy for me. So even before high school, once I got to middle school, like that's when things started to get wild, right? Yeah. Like that was that transition period where you went from elementary school and being a kid to middle school to where cats start really wilding out.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It was middle school where I bought my first, bottle of liquor.
Yeah.
By myself. Walked into a store, at 14 years old, and came out with a bottle of Wild Irish Rose.
I knew you were gonna say
it was Thunderbird. It was Thunderbird.
I was about to say I was
Thunderbird grape Kool-Aid. It was Thunderbird, but those that's crazy. Those were drinks. Thunderbird, Wild Irish Rose, Night Train, like those were
you getting lit before.
Those are the universal, you know what I'm saying? The 8-ball. You know what I'm saying? Everybody drinking the 8-ball, 40 ounce. But it's crazy to think that early. And it's like, man, we wilding out. We buying liquor. You know what I'm saying? We stealing cars. I mean, we are wilding out in middle school.
Oh,
bro, in middle school. So by the time I got to my freshman year, my father died. And I remember, and mind you, that's when we had just started to, okay, man, I guess this whole red and blue thing, I guess we got to pick a side. What is our hood? All right, who we going to be building with, connecting with? So we was wilding out doing stupid stuff too.
Yep.
And I remember getting to a point to where, I mean, obviously things stopped when my father died. And I remember one of my, one of my big homies, because I was always the youngest cat out of the crew too.
Yep.
And so one of my, one of the big homies, who was like, it was one of my best friends, my childhood best friends, his older brother. He was probably maybe like 5 years older than me, but I remember him coming to me and he was like, yo, man, I just want to let you know. I know your father died. I know you're going through it. And this is crazy to think about it now, man.
Yeah.
My boy Maurice Baker, man, bless the dead.
Bless him.
I remember he came to me. He was like, bro, real talk, you ain't got to do none of this, man, if you don't want to. Like all this stuff we run around is like, bro, like if you don't want to be around, it's like, dude, this is your decision. Do what you feel like you should be doing. You don't feel pressure to do none of this stuff that we're involved in.
Wow.
And it's like I knew that.
It just take one dude to do that.
Right. And so it's like I kind of knew that because the thing about it, like my freshman year, I was so I was about that life in a sense of just like running around doing whatever hood stuff we was doing. Like, I was going to school, but dude, I ain't play no sports my freshman year. I kind of hung out, with people at school, but for the most part, I hung out with people, from my block or from around my way. Some of them were in school, some of them weren't. Some of them got kicked out or just stopped going, and I was pretty much like that was like still my crew.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't until after that, like I didn't start playing sports till my sophomore year, and that's when I started, hanging out more with, people that I actually went to school with.
Yeah.
But it's crazy, man. But the thing is, still, the culture, the music, Yo MTV Raps,
Yeah.
Video Soul, Video Vibrations, the magazines, like I said, Right On, Jet Magazine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whether I'm going to it's page like 37 or page 41, I'm gonna find that beauty of the week.
I think it was always like 42 or 43.
Right. It was like 41, 43. It was like an odd page.
Real quick, big shout out to Mad Skills. He's Skills VA on Instagram. Right now, he has like a series where he showcases like a Jet Beauty of the Week, and everybody tries to find her.
Like what she's doing, where she's at now?
And people go, he posts it, and people go find the woman, and it's amazing because the ladies, they still look good, and then they always are like, "Thank you so much."
Hey,
yeah, go ahead.
He need to do the Skills Jet Beauty of the Week wrap up every year.
Have him jump on. We're gonna get skills.
But but the thing is, and when I think about still middle school, NWA, Ghetto Boys, Eazy-E, and that was a cool thing about
you're in the Midwest, so that's
that was a cool thing about being from the Midwest. We got everything.
Yeah.
Right. So we were still finding our identity. So we love what was going on the East Coast. We love what was going on the West Coast. We love hearing what Luke and whoever else was starting to bubble in the South. We're right in the middle. Yeah. So that was. I mean, I think that was by far the most. Just the best place to grow up because there wasn't no bias.
Right.
With us, and we got a chance to embrace everybody. We grab from everybody, and then from where we're from. It's crazy to think Flint, Michigan, man, for it to be as small as it is. And this is another, huge influence for me being able to see, my older brother and sister. It's like, man, in their class, and I used to go to talent shows and watch Ready for the World.
Wow, that's crazy.
Who got signed to MCA Records and who had selling multi-platinum records. You know what I'm saying? I got a chance, my sister that's 4 years older than me was in the same class, as MC Breed.
That's
went to the same high school, so I would see him in the yearbook. I started, you know what I'm saying? So it was so for me, and then so older sister, older brother went to school with Glenn Rice and Andre Rison. Like Glenn Rice is played like right across the street at the park.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like to be able to see these cats all the time, Carl Banks, like all these cats is crazy. Yeah. So, like it's Jim Abbott.
Jim Abbott was in the house.
You know what I'm saying? But it's for us to have such a small town just to see, like, damn, man, it's possible because people from this little ass city are able to, make this crazy imprint. Man. And for me, when I started going to the concerts, seeing Run DMC.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As a kid, my first tour, my first show, big show was I used to think it was the Fresh Fest, but I think it was the Raising Hell tour.
Oh, Raising Hell tour, Run DMC.
Run DMC, you know what I'm saying? Seeing Houdini, LL, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like all of this stuff, was a part of the blueprint for me in terms just like, yo, that's what I'm going to do.
This is it right here. This is what I need to be.
I'm going to be a part of that. I have no idea how.
Right.
I don't really know these people or how I'm going to get there, but dog, that's what I am going to do.
But hey, you also had like a strong love of sports too, though.
Oh, like, for sure.
Y'all are from the Midwest, so football, basketball, baseball, all of those things are super important. So
you're playing everything.
Yeah, like you play everything when we were play. And you had to be nice in everything. You had to at least be dope in everything to the degree where you could play in everything where everybody's like, all right, he's good. Like that's what you wanted to achieve. You know what I mean? So growing up, it was
that is, and as kids, that's what you would call networking.
Right. That was networking.
That was networking. You know, whether you was at a level where it was AAU or whether it was just, you know, high school or whatever, traveling or moving to a different city, just like how you was like, yo, I got next. That was networking. That's how you get to know people.
All the way, especially like on any kind of field. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that was like always the first thing that you wanted to be. It was some kind of sports star. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then in tandem, you have this culture that's coming where you could break dance, you could beatbox, you could DJ,
right,
MC. It's like this thing is just coming and you're starting to see it and it's starting to make more noise. And you know, as we skip over a lot, but when I got back to New York and I'm in high school, you know, my cousin is going to the school with me. I'm always talking about these beats. I'm staying up late listening to Stretch Armstrong and Bobito and, you know, looking at Video Music Box. We all wanted to be on Video Music Box. But then my school, Sarah J. Hell, Big J, it's like Big Daddy Kane went there. From what I understand, Biz Markie went there.
Wow.
But then, like, literally the year before me is like Little Kim. And then I'm going to school with Junior Mafia.
Wow.
So, you know, all of them, they in there and they from around the way. And then I used to, like, before I even left to go anywhere, I was in class with my man Gavin, who's Foxy Brown brother. So, and then he became who he became, and we used to see school and stuff, and they all from around the way. So their older brother Ant is cool with all my cousins. So now around my way, it's like starting to bubble up. And then you got somebody by the name of Don Pooh, executive, super entrepreneur. He started a chain of like barbershops in our hood. So you would go to his barbershop and anybody could show, Big could show up.
I did not know about that.
It's called Moods, but he used to have another one on like Clausen. I know once people hear this, they're gonna be like, yeah, it was such and such. I can't remember the name of it, but he always had the best barbers. And whoever was the ill barber would have, I mean, dudes that was handling, hustling, they would just pull up in all kind of cars back then. I'm talking everything, any Lexus.
And it's Brooklyn. This
is Crown Heights, Prospect Heights, right there. And when
what year? Around what era?
Man, this is like 91, 90, 91, 92, 93.
Wow.
All the way up until like 94. My man Des, who's now DJ Triple X, he used to cut everybody in the hood. And everybody used to come over to Moods, and you could hear a Young Shine joint being played, you know, a little bit later, Foxy stuff being played, Biggie early stuff being played, because Pooh started transitioning into being a music executive with Don Pooh Entertainment. So he linked up with the Track Masters, who's also from, you know, Flatbush, Brooklyn. And now you're just starting to see like this whole amalgamation of artists from around the way. Junior Mafia is blowing up. They coming to school with like the bad boy jackets.
But hold up. Before you even continue there, I want to go ahead and just put spotlight on another one of those nuggets that made it went over people's head.
Yep.
Another cultural.
Oh, there we go.
You know, just bruh.
You did that,
bruh. The barbershop.
That's
the black barbershop.
Black barbershop, man. Look at Ron. That's what he called his show, the shop. There you go.
Dog.
Cultural epicenter outside the church.
The cultural epicenter outside the church. And truth be told, the barbershop is pretty much like the litmus test.
Yep.
You know, for any and everything that we wanted to do with King.
That was King.
You know what I'm saying?
Where the conversations came from.
Bruh, that okay, we want to create the type of magazine that every barbershop, Every barbershop gonna have them joints right there, and it's gonna be the conversation about, oh, look at her, or man, look at this cat right here, and oh man, look what he talk like, dude. That was everything.
Yo,
At the end of the day, that magazine is something that, man, we wanted to create something
that environment.
based on what we would have loved to have seen.
Yep.
We made the magazine we wanted to see.
Yep. Outside of what we were already getting in Vibe, Source, even, and to a degree, King was birthed out of Double XL because of the connection that I had. We'll get into that. But being at the barbershop, man, on those Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, everybody trying to hustle, hurry up and get they cut so they can go out to the club, because this is club culture back then. You don't have it as much now, like maybe in Atlanta, but
definitely
there's no bottle service. There's no bottle service. There's none of that. You don't have to worry about that. It's like, yo, if you knew somebody could get you in, you good money anywhere. If you got the right kind of gear on, you're going to get in regardless. And then if you got paper, it's already lit. But if you got a name, or if you cool with some people or whatever, you're going to have the time of your life, especially that early 90s, all the way to the early 2000s, New York. That was the scene, man. And I'm not even talking about the scene before my era, which is like my mom and all of them doing, Bentleys and Red Shadow, a Silver Shadow, a Red Parrot,
Studio 54, all that. Right.
You know what I mean? So it was like a culture for you to get ready to go have fun,
bruh. Like the conversation, like all of that, man. And I gotta, hell, I have to do this. I have to do this. You brought up LeBron's show, The Shop, which is amazing, which I love. Definitely, enjoyed the last joint he did with Barack Obama.
Yes, indeed.
But before HBO had The Shop, you know what I'm saying? MTV had a shop that I worked on based on Corey Rooney. His barbershop over in Queens, over in Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? That was like that in itself was a crazy show, that we put together based on the success of Ice Cube's barbershop movies. And it's just like, man, it's all these amazing things, man. Just
MTV era. Think of that MTV era.
When they start to move away from music, but still incorporating the whole concept of music, but figuring out different ways to get into lifestyle. That's the rock and rock era. Pimp My Ride.
All that. Yep. All of the real world stuff starting to
real work.
A little bit more so, direct effect. I remember Star even had a show on there. Him and Buck Wild from The Source, they had a show on there for a little bit. And then BET's Rap City,
Chris Tucker. I mean, not Chris Tucker. Chris Thomas.
Chris Thomas. Yeah, man. Like all of those things just started to build, and you start seeing like, oh, D would pump it up.
And Video Vibrations. On BET. Remember, they used to do Rap Week.
Yes.
They used to do Rap Week, and it did a whole week. It's just all rap videos, and they used to be bananas.
Yep.
They used to be bananas. I'm talking about my VCR. Like, dude, I was that dude in the neighborhood that recorded all the music videos. I was that guy. I remember that very, very, very first episode of Yo MTV Raps with Fab Five Freddy.
That's so
recording that joint. I remember.
Yo, man, you like just going back and understanding like everything that we were, influenced by. This is what made the magazine. This is what starts to. But even before you start thinking about having your own magazine, you're like, how can I be a part of this? I want to be a part of this culture
somehow. Not really knowing how.
Not knowing how. Don't have any insight into the industry outside of knowing people that are doing it right now.
Right.
The music. They're signing the artists. They're bringing them around the way to showcase, like, yeah, we in the hood, we could do this too.
Yep.
Just me seeing them, all of those different people, big in them in the Acura going up and down Washington Avenue, even though he couldn't drive. You know what I'm saying? Like being able to see Black Moon, my man Swan and Buck and Five and all of them going back and forth. Like my uncles being connected to Organized Confusion with Pharoah Monch and Redman and K Solo. K Solo came to my crib one time, man. I thought I was like, yeah, they brought him to the crib because my uncle is cool with his man's Reg and Shark, and he came around and checked them, and they was like, yo, you gotta meet this dude Datwon, man. He got all the tapes. He got everything.
Hold on, this is before or after Spellbound?
Oh, this is after Spellbound. He came to the crib, and I was just like in awe, like, yo, this dude is actually in my crib. This is so
wow,
crazy.
that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
And like all the memories are just starting to flood. And he came in, and it was just like nothing but posters all the way, ceiling, wall, everything. Basketball, Slam magazine being a big influence.
Hold up, though. Got to stop you again.
Oh, there we go.
Something that we learn as adults that we didn't know as kids. We were doing it in real time, but we didn't really understand.
Right.
And it took me a minute to put two and two together. That whole concept of the law of attraction, and vision boards. Like people, every top of the year, everybody want to do vision boards and put all this stuff together and move this stuff. I want all this stuff on my wall, and this is what I want to do. I want this car, I want this house, I want these, and I'm gonna go ahead and just put it on my wall so I can see it, bruh. Yeah. Those posters, on your wall.
That's a vision board.
That was your vision board, bruh.
Vision board, man.
That was your vision board. It's like you kept seeing that. And so you kept thinking about it, and you kept on like going towards it. Like, dog, that's how we got there. The first poster I remember putting on my wall was going to that Run DMC concert. I had a Run DMC poster on my wall.
Wow.
Not knowing that years later, DMC would be at my 31st birthday party.
Look at that.
Not knowing that, 2-3 weeks before Jam Master Jay got killed, I was with him in Puerto Rico at the what's the mix show summit they used to do out there?
DJ Summit,
whatever it was. But I remember meeting him out there, sitting next to him at lunch, seeing him at the airport when we was heading back to New York, like all of that. And it's just like, and then Run, meeting him, on the Monique show. It's like vision board, bro.
Vision board, bro.
Vision board in college when I was in Michigan State. I remember having that little Kim poster on my wall with the squat. You know what I'm saying? And that following summer, I'm interviewing Junior Mafia.
That's
you know what I'm saying? I'm interviewing Junior Mafia in New York. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going out there doing internships. I remember having Vivica Fox on my wall in college. And like that same summer, I remember ending up on the Foxy Brown Bad Mama Jamma video from How to Be a Player. And I remember seeing Vivica was in the video, so I walked over to a young lady.
You were in the video.
But hold on a second. No, not even that video. But bro, I somehow I just kept ending up on different sets, bro. I was like,
hey, time out. Tell the people what video you're in, man.
Yo, the Isley Brothers, Floating on Your Love remix with Puff, 112. Ron Isley, Angela Winbush, Pete Rock, Flavor Flav, Jermaine Dupri. Dog, that joint was crazy. And Alan Ferguson, did the divorce go through? He was married to Solange.
Right. Oh,
he was the director. He was the director on that video. And the reason why I end up being in the video, which I didn't want to be in the video. You know what I'm saying? I guess I'm a video vixen. So I'm not judging. I never was one to judge. I guess I was one of them. But the crazy thing is, so the way I got on that video is I met Alan Ferguson, the director, a week before.
Right.
Because I was leaving work in the city, about to head back to my cousin crib in Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? Just out in New York for the summer. And I'm taking a long way because me and my cousin wife didn't really get along. I used to, wait till she go to sleep. I didn't want to be around her. So like, bro, I'm taking a long way, and I end up walking through Times Square, and I see all these lights and a big production going on. I'm like, damn, what's that? So, right in the heart of Times Square. So I walk over there, I'm hearing the music, and I'm like, oh man, it's a big crowd, all these cameras. And I look over and I start recognizing people. I'm like, hold on a second. Back in 112, damn, that could Puff, that could Big, you know. And I'm like, damn, who is the one dude that's rhyming slow? Like, I don't really know who that dude is, bruh. It was the 112, the remix video for
Only You.
For the Only You remix video, right there in Times Square. It's like I was just walking and I saw it, and I looked at the slate, and I was like, oh snap, Alan Ferguson directing this. I want to talk to him, because at that time I was working with my homeboy on an independent magazine. I had a boy who was doing a magazine on the music video industry.
Wow.
And so we were interviewing directors and, just talking to all the behind the scenes people, because I worked in the music video world as a video promoter for different labels.
Right.
So I was like, yo, the only reason why I started, this is where my writing career started. I didn't even want to be a writer, but my boy put out a magazine at first, that this particular magazine, and I just looked at the issue. I'm like, this is whack. I'm like, man, let me work with you on the next issue. Let me show you how it's done. And never took a writing class, journalism, any of that, but I knew what magazine's supposed to look and feel like because I was such a consumer. Yep. So that next issue, I was like, yo, I want to help out. So I saw that Alan Ferguson was the director, and I waited to the very end of the video to go talk to him. But in the meantime, while he was wrapping up, I saw Big. And now I knew Big because I met Big on the Big Mac promotional tour when I was in college, because I had a college music video show.
Yeah, that initial tour for them to go out.
Their initial promotional tour. So when they were doing, their promotional tour, they came to Detroit. I had the relationship doing college video, like other people do college radio. I was doing college video. They set me up an interview to go down to Detroit. Like, bruh, it was me. It was us. It was just only us, like at a random soul food restaurant in Detroit. I took me and like 2-3 of my homeboys from college. We drove down with the video camera, and it was just only us in a restaurant, me and my boys, and whoever was in that white 15-passenger van. So it was Big, Craig Mack, C's, like the whole crew. And we just kicked it. What was that?
It was just meeting with y'all.
Bro, it was just us. It wasn't no other press outlets, no other people. Like, bro, we broke bread at the soul food restaurant. Then we, did some interviews. We had them freestyle, and we were just kicking it.
That's crazy.
Crazy. So I see Big at the Only You shoot, and so I'm like standing in the cut, and I'm thinking about going to holler at him, but I'm watching Alan because I'm like, I need to holler at Alan. But while I'm sort of in the cut, I see these girls, and they were like looking at Big, and they was just kind of talking like, let's go over there. Nah, girl, I'm scared. I don't want to. I was like, yo. I'm like, yo, so y'all. I was like, you scared to go over? Y'all want to meet Big? Yeah, we want to meet Big. I was like, man, come on. Yo, two girls. So I walk them, yo, Big, what up, man? Like we homies. What up, man? What's going on, man? Yo, what's up, Playboy? That whole thing. I'm like, man, these girls, man, they stand up, man. They scared to meet you, man. They want to come over and talk to you, man. And they, oh, word, man, what's up, man? So, made the introduction, and it's just like, yo, you cool with any dude. You bring a couple girls through. It's like, girls,
yo, I ain't a King Jim, like the Joper moments. A King Jim, bring the ladies with you.
Come on, man.
It'll be great. Just
bruh,
with you.
It wasn't nobody swelling up. Like, who was this dude walking up on us? It was like, nah, this the dude that's coming across the street with the two girls. Like, yo, my man, that's my man now.
That's my man.
So I go holler at Alan Ferguson. I'm like, bruh, I got this magazine I'm doing. I want to interview you for it. And he goes, oh, cool. That sounds cool. Because at that time, Alan Ferguson was like one of Hype Williams' main director of photographers. So this dude, and he just started doing videos for himself as well. But he was a beast, though. He was a beast. So I was super familiar with him. Yep. And so he was like, all right, cool. We can do the interview. Matter of fact, come meet me next week. Like next Tuesday, I'm doing another video. Come over there and we could talk then. I was like, all right, cool. Bet. So he was giving me the address. He was like, matter of fact, you got a suit? I was like, a suit?
You got a suit?
I was like, what are you talking about? He was like, no. If you do you have a suit? I was like, yeah, I got a. But I'm like, what do you mean? He was like, no, I got a scene I want you to be in. I was like, bro, I'm not trying to be in a music video. Like, I want to do an interview. Yeah, like I'm for real journalism. I'm gonna do an interview. He was like, yeah, that's cool. We gonna do that. But but come dressed up though. Come dressed up. All right, man. All right, cool. So I get over there not knowing what the video was.
Yeah.
Bruh, I started seeing, Mr. Big, Lil Kim, Angela Winbush, all these Puff, like I was like, whoa. And so they had me in the Soul Train line. You go back and look, I got the turquoise shirt on in the Soul Train line when she jumps out the cake. Lil Kim jumps out the cake.
We gotta show the people.
And I was still in college.
That's
so
crazy.
I was able to come back to college after the summer and play that video on my video show.
Oh man, you the man. You the man. You the man. For those of y'all listening, you should see his face. We'll put the video up, but you guys.
And that's why we want to tell these stories of before King to let you know by the time we got to doing the magazine, we was already in this. Like, bro, you went to school, you knew Kim them from way back then. You knew Junior Mafia you knew them from way back then. You know what I'm saying? Foxy Brown's Pit, you knew them from way back then. High school.
Yeah, man. High school. Yo, when I think about like high school was like that training ground for me to kind of sharpen my skill and see exactly what I wanted to get into. Like I was making beats, I had my homeboys, Aaron and Freddie, my man Sid, they would come and visit me. They used to be in Japan with me. They would come and visit from like Texas, and we would just go to Fat Beats. We would go to the Renaissance Hotel for like.
You don't brush over Fat. Everybody ain't from New York, man. Talk about that iconic record store, bro. And Brooke, talk about that.
Yeah, man. So there's a couple. You had Downtown Records, you had Beat Street, you had Fat Beats. Fat Beats was a little later. Beat Street was the spot. My man, DJ Goldfinger, my brother. DJ Goldfinger would be the guy that you had to go see at Beat Street or Downtown Records when he was going to both. And this is on the iconic Fulton Street, downtown Brooklyn shopping area. And my man would he would just let me sit there with him and just listen to records, man. Like all the new anything that would come out, he would get it first and he would play it, and people would come through, and I'll just be like, nah, you gotta go over there, or nah, you gotta go over there. But like
the record store, once again, a cultural spot where everybody knew
you had to go there.
You had to go there.
Yep.
All of the industry cats, all of the DJs, all of the producers, all of the artists.
Yep, you had to be there. And this is in the days of the bootleg.
Oh my God. Outside of Beat Street, even though you were still going there and buy records, like, bro, you could buy anything bootleg. All of the you buy bootleg movies, the DVDs for everything was everywhere. The movie could come out in 2 weeks.
Yep.
They already got it.
They already got it, man. That was that era, man. And I gotta thank Goldfinger for allowing me to just be in his space to hear things and to be able to kind of cultivate my ear on underground hip hop stuff and some mainstream stuff that he would get like label press joints that wouldn't even come out. He would get those type of joints. So I'm hearing how he's mixing stuff, what his ear is like, what these A&Rs are bringing him, because he would DJ while people would be shopping just to, test things out and see what's up. So my man Goldfinger, man, I love you, man. It's like him. And then when I got into college, there was a record store. I forgot the name of it. I think it was like Sam's or something like that. It was on 23rd between Lexington and Park Ave.
Sam Goody?
Not Sam Goody.
So not one of the big friends, not like Sam Goody or Tower Records. You talking about like
a mom and pop?
Mom and pop joint.
Huge mom and pop. It was huge.
Hold on, where was it at?
It was on 23rd Street between Lexington and Park Ave South. Huge.
I'm thinking of one lower down by Barnes and Nobles.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. That's right down the block. And now that's where Fat Beats was. Fat Beats was across the street from Barnes and Noble.
Right.
I know what you reckon, because that's around
what I'm talking about.
Lady and all that.
Right.
But this one in particular, I was going to Baruch College at the time, and in between class, if I had like a big gap, I would go over to this record store and just sit in there. I would just sit in the record store, learning records, looking at credits, playing stuff that they would let you go ahead and test out. And there was a guy there named Pat, an old black dude, man.
Mm.
He was grumpy as fuck. He was the grumpiest dude, but he was mad chill to me. And
Word.
I would help him because he was getting kind of old, and people would come in the store. They never ever looked at me as an employee, but I knew that spot just as well as they did. And I looked
Wow.
at it as like a fake internship that
Ain't
I
that
never.
some crazy?
I would help them.
Nobody had to ask you to do it.
No
Nobody
one.
suggested maybe you should go over there and do this. It's like you just knew.
I just did it. I used to keep my book bag on.
Yep.
Go in there. If I had like 45 minutes to an hour, I would go in there, help them out, sit in there, listen to records, tell Pat, like, yo, you should listen to this. He would tell me old jazz joints, old Brazilian music that he would just be like, yo, check this one out. And then he'll just walk off, leave me with a record, and I'll just have to, like, we don't have those spots anymore where kids can go in and get that kind of education. This man knew me from nowhere. Didn't know, he just knew that I would come in there with my headphones on, book bag on, and I would help the people that would come in. Oh, yo, what you looking for? Oh, it's over. I got you. It's over here. And I just did that. You know what I'm saying? So my college days, going from, Sarah J into Baruch, I didn't really look at college like, all right, I gotta finish this. I was always looking at it like, I gotta get into the game of what I want, where my passion is.
Oh my God.
Passion is I need to be in this area. So since I was on 23rd Street,
Right.
Vibe magazine is on 31st or 32nd in Lex.
Yes, sir. 215 Lexington.
And originally it was 205, I think.
205 and 215, right?
Yeah, because they have both at one
both buildings, yeah.
To the other.
Yeah.
And one day I failed a math test, and I tell this story all the time, but I failed a math test. And I was like, man, fuck all this school. Like, this is getting me, and I'm broke. I just left working from, the library that I worked at for 2 years, which I loved, but it just wasn't bringing in enough money.
Yeah.
And I'm teaching illiterate adults how to read and use computers. So it was more rewarding soul-wise to see people reach their goals within that. But the money and what I wanted to get to was kind of eluding me. And
that's another nugget. You just dropped another nugget, bro. Just based on your character as a person, dog. That's where that community aspect of King, man. It's like, bro, you were teaching the elderly how to read at the library.
Yes, indeed.
What? And was enjoying the experience of that engagement. You can't help but get knowledge and wisdom just being in their presence. You know what I'm saying?
Just being able to talk to a 75-year-old man who had never read because he had to leave.
Come on, man.
In like the second grade to go work with his family.
Come on, man.
Like little kid style, and then going to the wars and then come back and still don't know how to read, but he wanted to read. You know what this man said, man? That it hits me to this day. He was a great grandfather. And his great grandchild was getting older.
Yeah.
And he wanted to read them. The grandchild was asking him to read bedtime stories to him.
And he couldn't read.
He couldn't do it. So he checked himself into the reading and writing workshop that the New York Public Library provided. And I was working there at the Stewart Park branch. And I have a billion of these stories from working with these people then. This one in particular, I never really told. That hit me so hard. I was determined to help him with his writing. I was determined to help him with his reading, just so he could take the most simplest book and read to his great grandchild.
Come on, man.
You know what I mean? Like, they can't pay me enough to want to make that happen for that man. What kind of money? Somebody says, here's $1 million, make this man read. You're going to try it because you want the $1 million, but what if he can't? Because you're focused on the money. I wasn't even focused on the money. I was focused on, I need to find the best ways that this man could learn and hold on and retain the information. You know what I mean? And it just hit my heart when he was able to like write a sentence and then feel like, yo, he knew where the period goes. I'm like, bro, it hits me now. You know what I'm saying?
But what you don't understand though, bro, what you don't understand is, and people are gonna listen to this podcast, people gonna, jump in these timelines on social media, bruh. You've done that same exact thing for so many people in this game, dog. You done put people on and in a position to win. Like, bruh, it's like the position that you put me in, the opportunities that you allowed me to have, just along the way, and so many others, that have followed your lead, what I'm saying, even as a young dude, as a, it's like, bro, it's crazy to think about. And still to this day, you continue to do it. And it's like that, like I said, that's why, man, it's so important, man. We were having these conversations about, starting this podcast, and I was like, yo, before we get into the full issues and like all of the crazy wild stories, like, man, we got to get into the essence. We got to get into the origins. We got to let people know, like, man, this wasn't just a fluke.
Nah, it wasn't a fluke, man, at all. This is part of who we are. This is like the elevation of like community. Like, yo, my man is doing that. Oh, he messed with that. Oh, he messed with that. Oh, yo, let's get up. And when I think of those moments, man, I think of there's one guy I always tell this. Now, this story I always tell. It's like Larry Cook. That was my man that was at the school, that was at the library. He would come every week, read and just try to learn more. And he used to always see me come in certain parts of the month with mad magazines. I would spend my money on magazines. I wouldn't eat. I wouldn't eat for two things, because I was going to school and I was doing the library job. I wouldn't eat some because I would go buy records
to
make beats, and I would buy magazines. That was my thing. So he used to see me come in with the Source and Vibe and all that stuff. And I remember one day I had them spread out, and it was a little bit before the time we were supposed to start, and I'm starting to read one of the mags, and he was like, Datwon, what's going on with you, man? What's going on? Why you in here with these magazines all the time and you ain't in them? I was like, nobody gonna do a story on me. He was like, no. He's like, you should be writing a story.
Wow,
man. You always, because I would use some of the magazine stories as like different things for them to either copy or try to understand, make it cool and of the moment. So they go back to their kids and know about Redman, and they would bug them out.
Right. Man, what you know about Grandpa? What you know about?
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was cool that they would know about these different things in pop culture. And he was like, look, man, if I had the skills you had, I'll be in every one of the magazines. I'll write a book. You see all these books in here? I'll write one of these books. And I used to just be like, why did he say that?
Wow.
Why did he just say if he had the skill that I had? I didn't think I had the skill, but he believed in me so much from helping him. He was like, this is what you're supposed to be doing. You should be doing this. Because if I had yours, like when somebody was like, man, if I had your hands, I cut mine off.
Right.
That's like that.
And you can't even see it in yourself at that time.
Yo, that was like the biggest, if we're going to call them King Gems, that was like the biggest like aha moment. Like, and then that's when I started to be like, you know what? He right. I'm gonna see what I could do. And then that was the whole internship. That was the whole internship like road that I tried to go into. And then that's how we got up.
Yeah, that's nuts, man. Yeah, that whole Vibe thing, man. I made my way over to Vibe when I was doing my music video show in college. I used to use the school dime, because being that I was a part of, like, I did my show through this college. There was I was like, the organization that I was a part of, it was a minority video production program within our student government, which was funded by our student government in college. So they, we had an office in the student union. We would buy equipment every year. And they got to the point, it was like, man, we got a budget. Why don't we start taking trips? Let's go to like some of these different conferences that's going on, that other video shows are going to, because we were considered an actual video show. The same way, we used to run on public access channel. We used to run on the campus channel and public access channel all throughout the city. So like the record labels would send us music and set up our interviews because they looked at us like another platform who's helping to push our product.
You're hitting the perfect demo.
Right. So we started to go to conferences on the school dime. And the very first one I went to was a Billboard Video Music Award conference.
That's crazy.
In LA.
That's
staying at the Lowe's Hotel in Santa Monica.
You're bugging.
All on the school's dime.
The first time in
LA. This is my second year of college. This is my second freshman year in college.
Oh,
right. So
freshman year. I just put it.
And I'm telling you, like, bro, it was crazy. So we're there with all of these other local and regional and national video shows that are at this conference. And we're meeting labels, we're meeting artists. Dude, at that conference, I met Eazy-E. This was 94. This was November of 94. So I met Eazy-E November 94, not knowing that he was going to die March of 95. 4 months later, he died.
Yep.
But he was out there at the showcase with his new group.
Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Cleveland with these little ass braids, Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Bone Thugs.
We setting up I didn't even want to interview him because one of my classmates who I went with, who I worked on the video show, he was such a groupie, dog. I was trying to separate I was like, oh man, this dude, man, I'm not with him. Right. But it's like, dude, on this same trip, I interviewed Chuck D.
What?
I interview this is 94, November 94. We were Stevie Wonder, we're at MJJ Records. That's the first time I met a young rap dude, a group, black dude, white dude on MJJ Records. Quo.
Yes, that's our man. Our man D.
End up marrying Reagan Gomez.
That's right.
He was 12 years old.
Dang,
yo. He was 12 years old. So it's bruh. So
and that's the homie.
It's crazy. So while I'm there, one of the people that I meet was a guy who introduced me and you. This cat named Bobby Yan. Who had a college music video show at Tulane University called the Hip Hop Half Hour.
Wow.
Even though he started the show and he had graduated, he was still connected with the show. And so me and Bobby was real cool. We came real cool. And so eventually we ended up working on that same independent magazine together. And then when I was graduating from college and I came to the first Billboard, the first, what was it? The Vibe conference, the very first Vibe conference, back in August of 98. And I was sneaking in. I ain't had no money. You know what I'm saying? I was just wrapping up college, but because I did, I went to school for that summer. So I had to finish up my classes because I took 52 credits my last year.
Yeah, you're crazy, bro.
But I remember leaving. I was like, I got to go to this conference. I got to shoot over to New York. This conference is going to be crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Because I had built a relationship with Vibe magazine because one of Bobby's homeboys used to work on the show, end up getting a job at Vibe.
Wow.
Being Keith Clinkscale's executive assistant.
That's crazy.
So I used to be in rooms for a couple summers prior to that, just fly on the wall, listening to Keith Clinkscales, listening to Jamil.
Yeah.
I mean Jamel Spencer, listening to Lynn Barnett. Just
that's
going to hoop with him. Big Sad was running the front desk at Brooke Blaze magazine. It was this crazy time. Yeah. But and then my homegirl I met we fast forward to the conference where I met the same day I met you.
Yep.
I met my girl Michelle Tennant, who was under Kennard, who was the publisher of Vibe.
Gibbs.
So then I started messing around with Vibe.com, and that's how it's just nuts. And that's where I first met Shaheem Reed. When he was working for Sasha.
Wow, Sasha Jenkins.
So it was crazy to just be a part of all of this. And like I said, and then to come out there, You know what I'm saying? I met you, met Black Spot.
Yup.
Y'all was at Double XL at that time.
Yo, this is the craziest thing, man. I always My story about getting an internship with Vibe is all over the place, so we won't even get into that. So if you want to hear that story, there's a couple of podcasts to go to outside of our own to know. I end up getting an internship at Vibe under the craziest circumstances.
Crazy circumstances.
96, 97, and A always says 98. I thought it was 97.
It was 98.
And he's probably right, and more than likely he is right. But
I was graduating. I was graduating college and trying to get my group back.
We were at Double XL at the time.
Yep.
And when you think about like me and Black Spot, we had become brothers. Black Spot was the head of he had evolved into becoming the top editor for Vibe.com. And I got there in 96. 97, I started making inroads into freelance world. So I got with Double XL with Reginald Dennis, Rob Marriott.
When it was brand new.
It was brand new.
Talk about that now. It wasn't like
nobody had really known what the deal was with them. And my story about getting on there is well documented as well. But I ended up becoming on staff. But I still was an intern for the 96 and the 97 Vibe music seminars. And I used to hand out flyers. I used to escort people to like different seats. There was times when I had to go tell like Usher, hey, it's almost time for you to go.
Wow.
Go on stage.
Wow.
He's in the hallway dancing. Do the one you with.
Right.
Coming out of his shoe.
I got a story about that too. I can't get to. We got to come back to that story.
Practicing trying to get out his shoes in the hallway by himself, just like making sure
in his zone, just
in the zone, like just by himself, trying to get out his shoes, like
right.
And I'm just looking like, yo, about time, bro.
Right.
It's like all these different things, that just rushed through me that I was just like, you ain't get paid for none of this.
But didn't care.
And the opportunity for the growth was so enormous that the money didn't matter. And I ended up getting it, of course, but not even with Vibe. Not even with Vibe. The whole time I was at Vibe for that year, as an intern, and I got it on my own. I got the internship on my own, so it wasn't any like school credits or anything like that. It was just experience. And Black had me going to like the Love Jones premiere, so I could interview Nia Long. And
that's the thing. It's like, dude, you're doing these things that's considered work
for free, so I can get the expertise. But then when I jumped over to Double XL, man, that's when everything like exploded. So being over at Harris Publications, Reg and that whole team leaving, offered me the opportunity to be the only person that was still there when everybody left. And that opened up our opportunity to work together even more after we met at the Vibe seminar. And Black Spot and Sheena Lester were still at Vibe. They ended up coming over to Double XL as a tandem. I got my best friend,
Sheena Lester, boy, another great.
Come on, man. She is, we call her
great.
She is the absolute coolest, bestest, anything that you could think of, man. She taught so much. She was the one that initiated me into like the edit fire.
Wow.
I hadn't been edited in the way that she just guided me, because at the time she was music editor of Vibe, and this is Vibe height from 96 to 90, 97 going into 98.
It's crazy, dude, how everything like these circles that we found ourselves into, man. I mean, these were like icons, man.
I mean, she had done Rap Pages there. I mean, Rap Pages was huge when you think about
Larry Flint. That's a lot of people don't realize. Rap Pages. That's I was over there.
Hustler Mag.
Hustler.
And she jumped the Vibe, left the Cali area, came to New York, did that. And you got You got to think like Danielle Smith and Kevin Powell, Bones
Jeez.
Malone, Greg Tate, Karen Good. It was so many different writers at Vibe that I was just in awe of, that I was around all the time, and being able to say, "Oh,
Shawnee Saxon.
Sonny Saxon." It was just too many. Oh, the great George Pitts for the visuals of Vibe. And then I think about Vibe Online, man, like Black Spot and my man Sheldon and Tony and Maureen and Sadiq, and
back when we didn't know what online was, it was just like some random.
It was
like, what the hell is this?
Greg Bishop, who's just relinquished his seat as small business commissioner of New York. He was the guy that brought me in over at Vibe, because he had like a thing called a webzine under Vibe called the suicide.com. It was all strictly hip hop, and that's how I got in. And without those kind of people to kind of guide me and let me know like if I was good or if I was whack or whatever, you know, I don't know where I would be. But I do know that my passion was going to carry me into something, because now that I'm in, I ain't leaving. And then once we linked up, I think it was like that was it. That was it. I was like, yo, I got my bros here, because Black Spot ends up becoming like my daughter's godfathers. Keith Murphy, our brother, who's going to be on this.
Oh, absolutely.
He ends up becoming my daughter's godfather. And you end up becoming my daughter's godfather. So
and you would end up becoming my daughter's godfather.
And here we are. You know what I mean? And to be able to say like we created, you know, not only just a dope ass magazine, but a family of friends that become family within that. It's a testament to all the other people in this industry that are in different areas in marketing and management and executive. Our cell is the same in those areas, because you end up making your own tribe in this. You know, you end up making your own tribe. It just so happened our tribe made one of the dopest mags ever. So,
and to think about one, I mean, I know we're going to end up wrapping this, but man, we skipped so much.
I know. We're gonna get back to it though.
It's crazy to think how much we skipped.
So much. I know.
How much stuff we ain't even talking about. Hooked, Hook.com and building that relation. You going head to head with Puff. Like it's like dog, it's so much.
This is what we'll do. Since we're a little over, this is what we'll do for the people. For the next one, we're gonna start.
We might end up already having to put this into 2 parts.
I know.
Based on where we're at right now, so I don't know whether we should keep rocking or what. But
we're gonna end this one.
Listen, it's so much.
We're gonna get into a little bit of Hook, which goes into King in the preview issue. So we promise y'all, we gave y'all 2 episodes of us.
Right.
We skipped over a lot of stuff that will end up having to go back.
We skipped over a lot.
I know, man. But we're gonna get into the preview issue of King
on
the next episode.
And the preview issue, for those that don't know, is like that very first issue that actually came out on the newsstands, the premiere issue. That's Layla Arcieri, who was like the main, just gorgeous, video model that was in Q-Tip's Vibrant Thing video. She was also on Howard Stern's show Son of a Beach as an actress. So before the full premiere issue came out, we had a preview issue that was put together to shop the concept of what King was going to be. To get advertisers and pitch it to different people who represented talent, so we could actually put together the first issue. So and then that issue, Nicole Robinson, gorgeous model.
But I ran into her like 2 years ago on the train, and we reconnected. And I'm hoping that we'll be able to talk to her. I'm not sure yet. We're gonna
working on it.
But hopefully we'll grab her up.
Yeah, so the next episode, we got to bring in a lot of the team.
Yes.
Talk about how a lot of us came together and started working together and started, to formulating. And I could definitely get into why I did not want to do King Magazine. I did not.
There we go. There we go. Hey, yo, so we're signing off.
Man, signing off, man. Till next week. Catch it every Women Crush Wednesday, new episode. You know what I'm saying? We gotta rock out on Hump Day.
There we go. There we go.
Magazine, you know what I'm saying? So man, check us out on social media. King, Crown Jewels across the board.
There we go.
Look out for these episodes and updates on there too, and check our stories. Until next time,
y'all. Peace.
Peace.